folks. Welcome to Dino Bob's first early access build in Prehistoric Kingdom. This is a prehistoric revival park, and with the help of one of the other VIPs, goes by AD, I've got the Spanish name in the title, which I can't pronounce very well. This is an overview of the finished park. We're starting at the entrance, and it was built up gradually because it was a challenge build, still is a challenge build. So some of what you're seeing is later additions. We're starting more or less where the guests come into the park, lining things up, and we'll be seeing a lot of prefabs in this build, in part to show them off, in part because I could build faster. To the right, I added a couple of vending machines early on, and over in the back corner there, a toilet, and walled it in to match the rest of the building. And this was part of getting amenities into the park early on to generate income. As we walk out the portico here, I guess it is, I don't know, maybe that's not the right word. The, of course, standard Tyrannosaurus statue, and to the left, the Pato Apparel Store, again, a relatively early addition to get merchandise moving in the park to generate income, and Tiny's little fast food kiosk over here. Another option for the guests to get money into the park. All very important. The ticket booth, and we're going to go inside. And PRP is the nickname short for the park. It's a lot faster to say. I built a little thing toward the end to have this little sign. To the left is a passageway currently closed to guests to the nursery you can see in the back. I originally started with just the nursery module rather than the full build out to save money, because that's important. On the right, we have a Psittacosaurus exhibit, and this is the naturalistic skin, based as close as possible on scientific research. These guys are good early starter animals. I've got, I think, 2 in here. They could have more, but 2 gives me a male and female. If breeding were in, then we would start breeding soon, but it isn't. And on the left is an aviary prefab that I did. And as is usual, still, the game does not save the settings in the aviary. This would be Microraptor, an animal that is very well preserved and would be a good source for DNA in my imagining of the world. This is a little park area that is a prefab. Like a lot of the prefabs in this game, I stole some bits of it to better blend it into the scenery. And you'll see here the little fencing here, and beyond it there against the walkway. All bits I stole from the build to make it fit a little better. And on further to another habitat, this is Protoceratops, familiar from the beta build. And a few more animals in it now than there were originally. The shelter is a prefab, also modified by a few rock changes. And on the right you see the termite enrichment mound, since Protoceratops will eat bugs. Eventually that'll be a problem in cleaning the exhibit as he eats the dung beetles. So we're going to head out past, on the left, a prefab. This is sort of a scenic prefab, and I added rocks to blend it into the curve of the walkway. We're headed toward the Jurassic part of the build. We're going to go across a bridge, a prefab bridge, get past these rocks and such, and you'll see exhibits that we're not going to pay attention to just yet. And for some reason, we're going to speed up to start going across the bridge. I don't know why the bridges are doing that. They seem to want to take off. There's exhibit on the left, exhibit on the right, and there you see one of the animals. And this is Dryosaurus, new to the last bit as we move into early access. And they don't want to pose very nicely for us. But the Dryos are being shy, so I'll insert a little still picture in a bit, because we're about to go down their path, a little bit of a narrow path through the forest here, allowing you to get in and get a bit closer to the Dryosaurs, and I guess maybe feel a little more in the park. So there's their feeder. They're not here. They're somewhere else. So here's the still. This is the feathered one, very much a Calindrodromius vibe in the multiplicity of integument on this animal. So we go around and follow the path around, walk over the plant. Got to get those gardeners back in. You'll be seeing more of that because this was a challenge build. I was building fast and didn't get everything out of the way. And since it's early access release day, I really wanted to get this video out and get the stuff out there so folks could enjoy getting a sense of what you can do with the early access build. Prefab toilet on the left, and it's a long run out to the Jurassic here because ultimately there will be more Jurassic animals, and I wanted to leave space to move them in if this park were to be expanded. So we're walking uphill during this section, and the lockdown viewpoint camera is problematic, and it will be hiccuping multiple times throughout this and the subsequent two parts of this park tour. Uh, the Archaeopteryx enclosure on the left, and a Padua Apparel, so actually the right, and on the left an Padua Apparel merchandise store. You see lots of wind turbines up there. Those were gradually accumulated as the park's needs went up for more electricity. A small prefab uh, planting, modified to suit the terrain with a little private place in the back there where you can take your kids if they're having a meltdown. Need more landscaping around here, something I didn't get to in the build, doing minimal stuff during the build, and only some of it I have gotten back to address. A tiny fast food place here, and on the left, a little bit better look at the Apparel prefab. Before we head for that viewing pavilion prefab, uh, you notice the shadows are getting long because we're getting to the end of our first day. Can't control the time and stuff. So we're out here in the viewing platform. It does not come, the prefab does not come with the binoculars. So those are add-ins, and the day is getting long. There's a sleeping Torvosaurus out there, and we're going to have to revisit him tomorrow in terms of game time. And here it is tomorrow. And he's up, or maybe she, hard to tell. Anyway, already had morning drink of water, and the other one's going to wake up soon, do the same thing. Anyway, um, this is perhaps not the prettiest exhibit. Again, challenge build, meet the requirements, and move on because I was trying to get to a 5-star park as fast as possible. So this one didn't get as much attention as it might have. So let's head our way back out, and we'll go back down the hill and head over to the major exhibit in the Jurassic Park part of the park. And unlike Jurassic Park, it's Jurassic rather than mostly Cretaceous. Um, so long run out here along the Torvosaurus exhibit. We have an elevated position, so we might be able to see Torvos out there. I see one on the horizon. Not the best view. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll put some binoculars in here to make it a viewpoint. Um, we'll see. Uh, Another prefab build to get across the river. That's part of the park's basic terrain build. Apologies for going through the bars there. And over here we have some more prefabs. On the right, restaurant and cafe. Again with the multiple wind turbines additions to keep up with the power needs of the park. The path goes on further, which we're not going to follow, but I envision that leading to a ride through the the park. You can see where the path goes on. And here is a viewing platform pre-built. This one does come with binoculars. And we're on the ground level here. Can't see much of anybody because they're way far away. So let's go up, I think. Second level doesn't improve matters much. So up to the third level, I think, is the answer. Um, if you squint real hard, you can see them out there. You actually need the binoculars to see them from here. Up top, same deal. So we're going to have to move out into the exhibit if you want to see the animals. There's a dino. You see it pop up, although it doesn't tell you who it is with the user interface off. But they're out there, so what do you say we go see them? So let's get our I don't know, it's a jetpack or a helicopter pack or something, but let's fly out over the plane here and head toward Brachiosaurus. And you can see some dryosaurs. This is one of the scaly skins running around there. Um, this one's having a little bit of his morning meal, I guess. And it's another one to the right. And also in here you can see a herd of Camarasaurus cruising around deeper in the exhibit. So lots of cool sauropods, lots of open space for them to cruise around. Um, yeah, and the river has been deepened to keep them from wading out across it. You can see Torvosaurus in the far distance if you got really good eyes. Uh, and there's a Brachio doing his look down at something near him animation, which right now he's doing in nothing. Maybe it's just a neck stretch, a little more calisthenics, I don't know. Majestic animals, these guys. And he's gonna wander off screen. Um, so, little pan around back the way we came. That's where the into the exhibit ride would be situated. And we're going to start heading back because it's time to see some more animals. We're going to take the flying route because it's faster. And flying over the park, heading back to that junction area where we left. Zooming in on another prefab planter and spinning around looking at rocks. Where are we? This is Proto exhibit, I think. Maybe. Hmm. I got lost. Anyway, I think that should be somebody else. No. Okay. Sorry, I'm not all that familiar with this one because I built it slower and of course didn't learn it as well. We're moving along past this little path. I think that means that we're going to be looking at the iguanodon exhibit. Iguanodons want a lot of space, so there's a little approach it path. Yeah, there's one. It's red because it's still early in the day, or maybe late in the day. I've lost track of that too, because there are red lights along the path. So it's not just a weird colored fence. Guanodon laid down. There's going to be more of them out there. I see one in the distance and another couple. So let's go check them out, shall we? Walking through a tree, also red because of those lights. And these are neat looking dinosaurs. I think this is my favorite iguanodon skin. There are three of them, of course. One of them a nod to an early piece of paleo art done by Zednian Burian, and very prolific and influential painter from Poland, I think, certainly Eastern Europe. And yeah, gave a lot of the look of dinosaurs to the early stuff, almost comparable to Charles Knight. So there's the path with its red lights. It hasn't fully been landscaped. You see a lot of banana trees there. I envision this as an in-park banana farm to help supply the needs of the park. I don't think that it'll work that way in game, but you know, headcanon is the ultimate canon, isn't it? And on this side, we have a Nasutoceratops exhibit, another classic, relatively early game animal, being a 2-star animal. So with the sun setting, it's time to say so long for now. Tune in to part 2 for more.